That's not gonna work, you know. Help, help. I screamed that when you first met me, but now that's what you're thinking. Go, try and kill me like you wished you did a long time ago. Maybe if things were easier for you, you could have. Julius opens fire but does no damage. Miserable. Absolutely miserable. It's all burnt down and it's all your fault. Only a dream. Mustn't dwell on it. Horrible thoughts lead to a corrupt heart. There's a job to focus on anyhow. The thing that descended from beyond the stars of divine wings. But we know better. That thing is a plague on our great planet. Its scales rain down on the planet like shooting stars, cursing our world with powers we don't understand. Normal creatures became twisted forms of themselves, dangerous, unforgiving. Through that power, through those scales, new life was created from nothing. And that life became a terror on us all. The demon waged war on humanity the day it arrived, and soon we came to fear the shooting stars. And that thing, that demon still hangs over us, residing on our moon, its horrible creations roaming our lands. Its shooting stars continue to rain down, continuing to breathe its curse on us, and it's up to people like me to fight back against it. Slimes is an RPG Maker game made by City Dreamer, about two guys and the hatred they have towards each other. Damn, I always come back to RPG Maker games on this channel. This is a game about anger and how it affects people, and that is pretty much all I can say about getting into spoilers. So if you stay, enjoy as we go through the journey that is Slimes. This is Julius Anderson, a member of the Church of the Holy Heart, and he's its modern day crusader. I fight for humanity, to rid the world of these blights. Our hearts bear as one and I'll make sure they keep beating. The evil spirits, the unholy, all are sanctified by my holy bullets. They're nothing to the light of the Holy Heart. But out of all those beasts, none are more pathetic than the Slimes. So weak, so fragile. These ectoplasms are everywhere, but nobody knows what to deal with them. The Slimes spawn these dens, form like the many labyrinths dug by the unholy magic. It's easy to say we should destroy these dens like any other dungeon, but nobody that's reached the lowest levels of a slime den has ever returned. What great curse do these things hide? That is up to me to find out. For the glory of the church, I have been assigned to destroy one. Another man was hired to join me, and I expect to meet him there. We can now have player at the entrance to the slime den as Julius. There's a slime at the entrance, so we kill it and the new guy turns up. Julius asks if he's the fellow that was hired to work with him, and he says yes, and he can heal him if he needs it. Julius says that he only has a scratch but he'd appreciate the bandages. The man says that he doesn't use bandages. This man, he approaches me with magic, pulsating between his fingers. The accursed, unholy energy born of that devil. One of these people that are infected, unclean, and he dares to approach me. Oh, I see it. I get it now. He must be in league with the foul beast of this dungeon. I'm certain. I've dealt with this kind before. These damnable magic users. Oh, we should bleed real good. We enter a battle with the man. Julius starts shooting at him but eventually gets him to stop. Julius asks his intentions. You're Mr. Anderson, right? Did they not tell you that I'm a magic user? Julius says they didn't. Oh, these government dogs must be having a real laugh, sticking with the likes of you. But I suppose you aren't an enemy. The guy asks if Julius wants to know his name, and he says he doesn't. So he's just going to be called Healer for now. Going further in, we enter a fight with a slime, and now's where I go over the combat. The combat is the average turn-based RPG combat. Right now we have the two characters, Julius and Healer. Julius wields multiple guns. Instead of having SP or MP be the limitations like other games, Julius has ammo. Depending on what gun and attack you use, a different amount of ammo is spent. The shotgun only has 2 shots but are powerful and can use a stunning move with a shell. The machine gun carries 24. Each shot uses 4 and you can shoot everyone using 10. The accuracy and damage is low though. The revolver is 6 bullets of average strength and has a higher chance of critical hits. The healer has a knife as its main attack, and his main focus is on special moves, obviously being healing. When you start a fight, the healer has a certain amount of TP. As you attack or use certain special moves or get hit, this increases and can be used to heal and use other special moves. As you level up, instead of having stat increases like other games, you instead only get new moves. This requires you to think about every choice you make and keeps the game from getting easy. In some games you can just get OP and spam the same move, but in this you can't. Each move has a benefit. Also, the longer you spend in a fight, the angrier the slimes get. After killing the slime, we get an item named Sonia Dello. We see a person named Sonia being spoken to by their boss. The boss asks for his monthly report and he gives it to him. Everything's in order. No slime escapes, minimal ammunition use. Good job guarding the entrance this month. Although your expense reports are showing a lot of alcohol is concerning. You should be ready and aware at all times, soldier. Ready for what? Slimes making gooey noises. Well, sir, there hasn't really been a lot going on, especially after that priest went in. The boss says that they're going to lower Delhi's supply budget. As you said it yourself, it's been slow. Besides, the government wants to redirect the money. A shooting star landed near a copper mine, so it's all hands on deck to clear out the new dungeon before monsters disrupt operations. Our republic needs to protect its assets. That's all you care about. Did I say that out loud? Sorry, I didn't mean to. You can expect a bigger budget decrease, Delu. I understand, sir. Anyway, you mentioned that priest earlier, the one that left babbling nonsense. The Church of the Holy Heart is sending someone new to purge the slime den, which will hopefully keep this place from draining government money. And not just him, we've also hired a magician. He's an odd sort, his powers can heal people, and well, that saves us money on providing medical supplies. Plus, he may be a magician, but at least he's of the right sort. Did you forget I'm half Astarian, or did you just say that shit on purpose? Right, I see, sir. All throughout this scene, Delu's cussing out the boss in his head, so it's clear he doesn't like him too much. Profound analysis, I know. Going to the next floor and clearing it of the slimes, we get the story of Joseph's soul. We see a group of people getting ready to open a door to the crystal. They open it and are greeted by a thing that Anna says is classified as an angel. The angel says that the blood around them is from the last humans that tried to fight it. One had a gun and made a lot of loud banging, and the other had a sharp pointed thing. The angel admires how he managed to chop one of its wings off though. The angel uses a move called relapse, and the person with the sword says he can't do it anymore, and he should have carried through years ago. We go up a floor again and this time enter a safe room. They both rest. Julius glares at the man across the cooking pot. The healer couldn't help but shrink back a bit. Yeah? What's your game here? Why did you choose to venture down here? The healer thought about it. I needed the work. Can't get hired elsewhere. I've been working with the mercenaries to heal their wounds. It was a rough time getting work at first, but Julius grunts. The healer's words stammered out. His fellow didn't really seem to care much about his backstory. In an attempt to reach out, the healer decided to ask, why are you down here? Don't you know? You really are cursed and stupid. I'm a crusader. I'm here because it's a holy mission, idiot. Nice talk. After killing the big slime outside, we get research notes. In the notes, we learn that the shards from the aliens are what's forming the creatures. The slimes have also started to be able to mimic human speech. This is likely a trait of the shard. Shards emit a field that has psychological effects on humans. They get closer to them as a sort of defense mechanism. Current literature suggests that they draw on thoughts of people that venture in, or the surroundings to unsettle hostiles. These effects vary depending on the shard. We believe that the speech is a hallucinatory effect of all shards that form a slime den. We're currently sticking to establishing base camps until we receive further aid to go back after the shard. After killing all the enemies on floor 5, we get the notes of Anna Rain. The first entry is on the 12th of June 1908, and we read that her school got closed because a shooting star landed in it and a dungeon sprouted. The next is on the 18th of May 1909, and we read about how she was offered to join a monster fighting team by her old friend Joseph and Ray, and she accepts it. In the next entry, we read about how they saved the school. They've cleared 2 small dungeons now, but this one got the attention of the newspapers. Now the school's open back up, she can go back to her engineering degree. But fighting monsters and saving people is far more excited. She says that Joseph has already picked out a new mission. Going to the next floor, there's another safe room. The smell of the cooking pot brings back memories for the healer. You woke up to the cries of a woman, not too far from the cave you were taking refuge in. You cautiously went out. A woman was looking further down the mountain. Her husband had fallen to a lower part when the ground beneath him broke off. He was squirming, alive but clearly in pain. Hang in there, I'll get help, she screamed down at him. He didn't look like he would make it if she actually tried to go, so you took the risk of stepping in. The wife was scared of your dishevelled appearance and the scars across your face, but you scaled down the mountain regardless. You stood over him, magic forming at your fingers. The wife screamed. The husband looked like he was going to die of a heart attack instead of his injuries. You're going to be alright, you said to him. Through that protest, you healed him. The look of horror on his face softened. The terror on her face turned to relief. The husband wasn't fully healed as you were still new to your talents, so you support him as you two head back up. The couple were travellers heading to their hometown, which recently had a shooting star land nearby, and they wanted to see if things were okay. Your powers aren't like anything I've heard of, the husband said. If that's the kind of magic those shooting stars drop, maybe it's not so bad. You should be like a magical doctor, then you wouldn't have to stay out here in the wilderness, the wife said. You were stunned. It was the first time that people understood the nature of your curse, and the first time people accepted you. You look like you haven't eaten in a while. Would you like to have some dinner? The couple decides to take a break right up there in the mountain, insisting that you sit down and have a campfire dinner. They made stew, and for the first time in a long time, you sat around and ate a meal with people. They soon left, but left you with some money as an additional thanks. For once your house didn't feel like a curse. Hey, what are you spacing out for? Hurry up and finish your food. Don't be so slow. Right, sorry. After killing the slime outside, we get a suicide note from an anonymous woman. I'm cursed. I'm broken. The magical infection is all over my face. It's over for me. My neighbours hate me, my remaining family fear me, and I hate and fear myself. I don't know what powers are in me, but I don't want to know. Because I'm scared of hurting other people. I'm scared of other people hurting me. I only want to hurt myself. I want to die, but I'm too cowardly to do the job. I want to slice my face open. I want those scales gone. I want to feel my own blood run down my neck, but I keep getting cold feet. I could wander out there, hope some marauding monster rips me apart. But what if someone finds my body? What if my family still cared deep down and was hurt by it? It's better for me to disappear entirely. Let them think of me as the selfish, cursed monster I am. Let go of any guilt, let go of my past, let go of my pain. I heard stories that no one's ever returned from the deepest levels of a slime den. And I hope their stories are true. I've opened the gate, please don't come after me. In the next floor we fight the first boss of the game, the Slime Mass, who if you couldn't guess is a big pile of slimes formed together. They defeat it and the healer puts his hand out to give Julius a high five. He tells him to put his hands down. I'm not touching you. I know one of many instances of Julius shutting the healer down. I'm not mentioning them too much, but multiple times around the dungeon, Julius expresses his distaste for the healer, all because of his ability to use magic. You're too excitable. I should have let that thing beat you around some more, to knock some sense into you. The healer asks what his problem with him is. I've been doing nothing but help you the whole time. Isn't it obvious? I can't trust anything with the essence of the Herald, that demon. The purity of your soul dispels all evil, and all evil falters in the hearts of the bright light. Purity Sacrament 713, idiot. Listen, not everyone that's around that shooting star when it lands is infected by magic. Freaks like you are just a minority. In fact, I firmly believe that people that are infected by magic are chosen. Only the righteous souls reject the false god's blessings. Deep down there's something evil about you, something that attracted that power, so it serves me right not to trust you. Oh come on, I'm mostly healed, you know I'm not dangerous to you. So you say, there's a lot we still don't understand about the demon, about magic, even those are cursed slimes. We've just witnessed a horrible mass of them fused together. It's known that people that go to the lowest floors of the slime den never come back. If these weak abominations are unpredictable, what about your own powers? Are you sure you understand your own powers? Because I swear, if all this healing damns my soul, I'll hunt you down and shoot you like the dog you are. The healer says he's not putting up with this, and Julius tells him to leave them. I can preserve, I don't need you. Alright, I'll stay here. I need this work. Ha! Of course greed sticks you to me. It's not greed, I need food, I need a place to sleep. Dangerous jobs like this, it's all I have. I'm not in it for you or your crusade, I'm in it to survive. Don't you dare belittle my work, you wretched little freak. Fine, follow me if you must, but you have no right to complain or talk back to me. Understand, you miserable bastard? As you said, let's do this like professionals. As a reward for killing the boss, we get chapter 1. It tells the story of two people named Thomason and Mill, who don't like each other that much. They also have another person with them named Kyle, who is kind of like a diffuser that tries his best to keep them both in line. Their main goal is to make a safe room and they do. However, there's an earthquake and the ceiling collapses. Going up to the next floor, we see far more red than the last. Either being dead slimes, what I'm assuming is blood on the bottom of walls. This could represent how both characters are starting to resent each other even more, and how much anger and hate they're feeling towards each other. The slimes are also learning to speak more. Using a rock slime to break rocks, we can enter a room with a note that says no funeral. After defeating all slimes on the floor, we get the research notes of Kyle Stevens. The main things we learn about slimes is that the further down you go, the smarter and angrier they become, taking new forms and talking more. We can also read about their bosses. The Anti-Alien Defense Department. Bunch of chicken shit cowards. They say that they'll rid this region of the slime den, but I was told that they won't do it. They'll say they shoot the alien out of the sky, but it's all just lies. It's not public yet, but the government plans on reconstructing the department to be purely defensive. They don't want to take on the unknown risk of going into a dungeon, unless it's some essential area, like the capital or some money maker. Using the newfound power of electricity, new engineering techniques, and inert pieces of previously destroyed shards, we've developed doors. Fucking doors. For non-essential places, the military just plans on having these doors installed to ward off the problems that are actually getting rid of it permanently. That way, they'll be protecting the local community while setting things up, so that a cheaper contractor will do their job of clearing the place. It'll help that new mercenary economy, they told me. Blah blah blah. We're supposed to be helping people, damn it, not pushing the load on some hero or whatever. Going to the next floor, the slimes have evolved into judgment slimes and they speak to us more. Do you think you deserve all that? Do you think you deserve to live? Do you think you deserve to breathe? Do you? Is one of the things that they say. Going further into the floor, we see a slime who doesn't want to attack us, and instead it says that his home was destroyed. The healer sympathises with it, but Julius asks if he's finally joining the monsters, and starts the fight anyway. When you kill it, it says we will like you. Something that I noticed is that around this point, you will have leveled up a decent bit and got more skills. And most skills that affect one person positively affect the other negatively. An example of this is by increasing Julius's attack, you decrease a healer's defense. After killing all the slimes on this floor, we get chapter 2. And in this chapter, we see the three after the cave collapses. Emil and Thomas are safe, but Carl's legs were crushed under the rocks. They had no choice but to amputate them. The three of them are now stuck behind rocks, so Thomas and Emil try to dig out with their only hope being the military coming to rescue them. However, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. The chapter ends with Thomas apologising to Emil for being a jerk, and the two sitting down talking about the three of them are going to do when they get out. Thomas still believing the military is coming to save them. On the next floor there's a safe room. Resting there, boxes of food are familiar to Julius. There were relief packages put together by the Church of the Holy Heart, donated to struggling and destroyed communities, probably bought by the heretic. He knows that he wasn't the first of the church to undertake the holy mission of purging the slime den. First there was a girl who fashioned herself like a crusader of olden days, fighting alongside her friends. Such a shame. Then there was a heretic, a former farmer turned crusader, vanquishing monsters with a scythe, who grew high in the ranks, at least until he retreated from the dungeon, babbling nonsense, questioning the will of the church. To be a truly holy person, one must be unwavering in their faith, forever holding a righteous rage in your heart. I'm not that man, Julius thought, casting a glare at the healer. All he felt looking at that man was hatred, but hatred he considered just. After killing outside, we get the confession of Ray Terror. We see a priest welcome someone into a confession booth. Please, tell me what's on your mind. Ray says hello and the priest is surprised. You haven't attended services in weeks, ever since you came back. Are you alright? Are you still putting your life on the line for the church? Ray says no, she's given up on it. I'm guessing it's because of what happened to your friends. Am I correct, my child? Ray says yes. I failed them. I'm a failure of a paladin. But I can't keep what happened to myself. May your heart be unburdened by the weight of trauma, for it will house a soul that cannot find peace. The priest says that at least she's not given up on the scripture. Yeah, I've been reviewing the words to find answers for myself. But where do I even start? Anna, I failed her first. I became a crusader to protect people from monsters, but it happened after Anna and Clark got in an argument. We see Anna and Clark were the same team earlier in the story of Joseph's soul. We were so distracted we didn't notice a weird looking slime appear. I can't remember what it looked like. All I remember that it had a part like a lance. Anna gets impaled by the slime. Joseph and Ray try to help her, but it's too late. And then Joseph. Oh, I keep seeing it happen in my dreams. We see the group again. Clark tells Ray it's not her fault. It's Joseph's. We all wouldn't be down here risking our lives if he never invited us. She probably would be studying at home or going to a new job if you didn't re-enter her life. If you just stuck it out on your own as an adventurer, if you hadn't dragged us into your shit, he'd be fine. But hey, you know what you're doing. You know that you're nothing without us. You've been thinking that you're all that ever since you beat me in fencing all those years ago, getting all the girls winning tournaments. But hey, you couldn't even get up in the morning without someone helping you. Deep down, you know that you just drag other people down. And you see what happened? Ray slaps him and that's how he can say those things. No, he's right, Joseph says. If I wasn't around, Anna would be alright. She wouldn't be down here if it wasn't for me. Ray tells the priest that she grabbed Clark. Anna always kept a pistol in her bag in case she ran out of ammo. Joseph reached into her bag and... I'm sorry. I should have done this years ago. I should have done what the angel said. You guys would have won without me. I never would have chosen to come here, and Anna would still be alive. Goodbye. The priest asked that he wanted to do this for years. Yeah, I thought it was a demon haunting him, but I think scientists call it depression now. I tried to help him. Tried to get him to come to the church because I thought that maybe that could help. I kept him back just enough so he couldn't graduate with us. And now, the priest says it is not our fault and asks her about the last friend. I wouldn't call him a friend, not after what he did. I'll be honest, Father. He's been an annoying jerk for years, but I wanted to believe that some people can change. But he showed me what he really was. And I wanted to kill him. I struck him. I just lost control. I wanted him to feel my hatred. We see Clark telling her to stop. I hated him. I hated him so much. In that moment, it was just us. I could have smashed his head in, if I wanted to, but I stopped walking towards him. I couldn't bring myself to do it, but that rat wanted to kill me. He took one of Joseph's swords and had the initiative, but more slimes appeared, a lot of them. She left him to be torn apart by the slimes. She says that a part of why she came here was because she doesn't feel any guilt at all. I thought that before I admit into all of this, I'd feel something about Clark. And I'm sorry to say this, Father, but I feel no guilt about leaving him to die. I still cry about Anna and Joseph, but I'm glad that guy's dead. She says that truthfully, she only repents for not saving Anna and Joseph. Well, I hope to see you again at our services. I really think you should come. Really, the priest says. On the next floor, we find chapter 3. Kai was unable to do much in the few days after the cave-in, given his condition. All he could do to contribute to the escape effort was drag himself to the hot pot to cook food for the other two. The evenings, or what they perceived as evenings, had them sitting around eating through their increasingly dwindling food. Help was not coming. Why would they rescue them anyway? The slime den was located in somewhere non-essential. The military had no reason to waste resources, especially if they were already thought to be dead. Thomas, meanwhile, was desperately optimistic as he and Emil moved rocks, but it was coming clear that their strength was failing them. especially since they were running out of food. As food portions got smaller, it was harder for them to move anything. We're really going to die here, Kyle thought to himself. His mind went to his notes. When a dungeon shard is destroyed, a magic tunnel is created in its remains. The tunnel teleports those that go through it to the surface. An attempt to destroy the dungeon could save them, but there was no way that they could make it. They're not in fighting shape, especially considering that those that go to the bottom floors of a slime den never come out alive. I'm done now anyway, Kyle thought to himself. Looking at the others' attempt to move more rocks, he got to writing out directions. He felt no rage, no sadness, only acceptance. Once that was done, he decided to take a smoke. He contemplated his life while taking in the bitter sensations. He dragged himself over to where Emil kept his medicine. He found the sleeping pills. We see Thomas yelling for Kyle to wake up. Emil stares in disbelief reading the note that Kyle left. Face it, we've been abandoned. You two will probably starve to death before the cave is clear. The only option you guys have is to destroy the dungeon. So I decided to give you guys the best circumstances. I know I won't be able to keep up, but it's okay. You guys can take my food. You need the energy. Emil, take my pistol. Don't let Thomas do all the fighting. I know you two can work together. I know you two can make it. Then there was one last bit. I had nothing else going for me except my research, so please bring it up to the surface. Emil looked towards Thomas, who had set a military flag on fire. They put out the fire and stood over a grave they made, while Emil says a traditional prayer. Using a rope to get down to the 11th floor, we get an item titled question marks. Why? Why? Those bastards. They deserve to die for what they did. Need to. Put hands around their neck. Just squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. Did they deserve to die? Is this the right thing? Cruel. They're cruel and awful. They deserve the death penalty. They need to feel what justice is. But what is justice? The right thing. The right thing. But what is the right thing? The right thing is... I don't know. Why is it so hard? Why am I so angry? Is it right to be angry? Who are... Oh. Are you okay? Please wait. I'll help you. At the end of the floor, we fight a slime that begs us to leave it. After the fight, the healer tells Julius that the slimes might not be spouting nonsense. Something about their words feel real. The slimes have been talking more and more, and some slimes have been begging for their life. Julius calls him an idiot and asks if he's already fell for the dungeon's tricks. Typical that someone like you would sympathise with them. I should have shot you when I had the chance. Then do it. The healer walks towards him. I know you won't shoot me. You keep threatening and threatening, but I know you need me. And you know I'm desperate for money. With people like you in charge of things, like people like me have nothing. You're trying to learn how to bandage yourself, but it's not as good as what I have, right? There's no way you can make it through this by yourself. You should be grateful I'm even keeping you alive, with the way you've been treating me. And stop calling me you or healer. I have a name. A sudden, solid pistol whip knocked the healer out cold. Julius stood over him, finger brushing against the trigger. But the healer's right. Julius did need him. For now. Julius leaves the healer to go look at a suspicious wall. He opens it and walks down a hallway. A judgment slime chases him down and says you need him. He kills the slime and enters a room. A humanoid slime comes up to him. You have the same symbol he had. Are you a friend of his? Wait, what are you doing? Put the weapon down. You remember the lynch mob moving through town. You remember that they were on the search for a magician, and you found him before anyone else. Please let me go. I didn't ask to have these powers. I've done nothing wrong. No, not again. You refuse. Kill him. Julius kills him. All the slimes ask why he did it and says it's not like their other friends. As if I could be friends with you, miserable lot. You speak of friends, but I know what your true nature is, demons. The healer dreams of the past. You're the son of an immigrant family. Your father hailed from Zion, a place on the other side of the world, and your mother came from Moros. They got together and moved to the South Angel, where they started a pepper farm and soon had you. It was a simple life. Your family got by just fine. You were never really rich, but you were never poor either. You wished for something more in your life, but you were comfortable and happy. And when those things started falling from the sky, you did your best to carry on, as if nothing was wrong. Ty, you remember your mum calling you out. Can you take these peppers down to the marketplace for me? A few shooting stars have fallen from the sky, but the slimes were weak enough for the town to hold off. Don't forget to bring the knife, your dad said. He always had ever since they started falling. You say bye, forgetting what else you said. You wish you said something more meaningful to them. Something that you can remember. You head back to your home after delivery and then you saw it. A shooting star heading towards your direction. The force was so powerful it knocked you off your feet. In the event of an impact, people close to a freshly landing star was more likely to become cursed. But at this time you didn't think about that. All you thought about was the path of the shooting star led directly towards the farm. You felt a tingling sensation under your skin as you got closer to home. You saw birds flying over your head. No, those weren't birds. You stopped running. There was a crater where the farm was, but the house was there, intact in the middle of the crater, surrounded by a field of red grass. As you got closer, you realised you shouldn't be there. It hurt. You stumbled back, your body aching from the outside and in. You almost slip on a puddle of blood. You realise it's not yours. Only then did you notice the 2 lumps in the grass. Only then were you given the mercy of passing out. We see Julius wake the healer up. Listen, I'll tolerate working with you, but I'm not putting up with nonsense. We get an item and use it. We see Michael, the man that was sent before Julius, speaking to the High Father about how he turned his back on the church. Michael says that the slimes aren't all hateful creatures. There was a big group of them that made their own community. They begged for mercy and invited me to their ranks. I simply couldn't. The High Father asks if he's been corrupted. He tries to explain, but the father doesn't listen and tells the guards to take Michael away. We enter the next floor and resting brings back a memory for Julius. After he let the magic user go, someone else swiftly took him down. While eating food Julius felt unworthy of having because he couldn't do his job. The man that killed the magic user told Julius that the man was an arsonist. The reason the angry mob was after him was because he was a theft on top of it all. He's not an innocent man, no one with magic is. He was a sinner and those powers allowed him to commit greater evil. All people with magic say they're innocent. They're victims, but they were chosen to receive the demon's curse for a reason. Adam pushes the food towards Julius. It says that he should put his guns to good use. You should fight for the church like I do. Entering the next floor, they get stopped by a doctor who asks them what they did. Another man appears and tells Julius to put his gun down. The 2 people there are Emil and Thomas. Ty asks why they're still down here, and Emil says it's for personal reason. It's none of your business, murderers. A magic-infested woman comes out from behind the 2. The same woman from this Gale story. She says that she came down to kill herself, but now she met them 2, she feels okay to have scales on her face, to have these powers. They say that the further you go down, the smarter the slimes become, and they develop feelings. They looked out for them, the slimes helped them. They built up a town and protected them. Ty said he's sorry, but Julius doesn't. He says that his purpose is serving the church, and he'll see to it that everything related to that demon is destroyed. And right now there's a magic-infested freak standing in my way. A battle starts that Ty's reluctant to join. The 3 offer Ty to join them, but Julius says that if he dies it won't be hard to figure out who did it. They only send another person down to finish the job. Ty reluctantly continues to fight on Julius's side. They kill the 3 and the girl's father worse to Ty. And do you really think he'll let you live? As a reward for beating the fight, we get the story of Natalie Bakley, the scale-faced girl. After she got her powers, no one let her in. She wondered for a while. Nobody would have her. No member of the church would let a thing like her into their home. She tried to survive in the wild until she found this slime den. She figured if she went deep enough she could die in peace, without worrying anyone. She entered the dungeon and travelled through it, ready to let the slimes kill her. That was until she was woken up by Emil and Thomas. She got to know them and spent her first week of the dungeon in the safe room. Emil and Thomas ventured deeper every day, but not to destroy the shard, instead to speak and get to know the slimes. One day a slime was being chased by another and ran to her. She saved it, and then Emil and Thomas came up to her. She says that she wants to help protect the slimes. She can use their magic. She has to accept it as a part of her now. She'll use it for good, and she'll survive. On floor 15 everything is far more red. Getting rid of the mainly black, white and red colour palette to a black, red and some white one. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to talk a little bit of the art style about the game, and I love it. As I said previously, everything is structured around the main colours of black, white and red. This match with the pixel art and the characters having no faces makes it a really cool and unique aesthetic. As I said previously, one of the main themes of the game is anger and hate, and the colour red shows this. On this floor there's also little slime houses that were probably made by the 3 from earlier. In the next save through, Ty reflects on something. Over his time as a mercenary, he's always never been accepted. Luckily his girls aren't in a visible place so he could hide them, but he still never felt comfortable. His motivation for going on quests and doing missions was to one day travel to a place that accepts him, a place that he doesn't hate. But is it worth backing up this man? This piece of shit, killing 3 innocent people? Is it worth fighting these slimes, now knowing that some of them don't even want to fight? Is it worth putting up with this man? You've met a lot of bad people, but none of them are as bad as he is. You wish you stood up to him earlier. You wish that you had stabbed your knife into him, slit his throat, deny him healing, bleed him dry. You want him to... We enter a battle and kill the slimes. The slimes evaporate into an ooze. Julius, that scumbag, looks at you. He knows what you did, and turns away in disgust. He's a murdering lunatic, but even he recognises the power of the slime den at this point. He'll do nothing for you, at least until you guys get out. You wish you turned away back when. You know too much, you've seen what he's done. He won't let you live if you leave. You think back to that woman's last words. Would he have let you live anyway? On the next floor we read a sign. The sinners never cease. More and more will always show up. Join the crusade, cleanse this world, kill the scum, kill yourself, find glory through blood, find forgiveness through blood. Glory, glory, glory. Going into the church we lock a box and get a key, and on the way down the healer sees the bodies of the 3 we killed. Emil calls them scum. He's gonna kill you too, you know, Natalie says, and it serves you right. Ty starts apologising and Julius asks what he's blabbering about. Natalie says that he can redeem himself. Kill Julius. You know you want to. The body disappear and they walk on. Julius not being able to see them. After killing everyone on floor 19, we get the last thoughts of Thomas Holliday. Also, at floor 18 onwards, the message changes from every slime has been killed to everyone. Using the item, we see how Thomas appreciated Emil and Natalie for all they did, and that he wanted to look out for them and help them live the life they wanted. He's sorry to the slimes that he failed to help build a society. He's sorry to Kyle as well. Closing the item, he says that he's sorry to everyone. He wanted to be some dumb heroic soldier that he thought he'd always be when he signed up. On floor 20, there's the final rest site. The two are refusing to look at each other in the eyes or even speak. It'll all be done soon anyway. The cathedral waits ahead. They both know that it has to be some big trap, but for now that's not what they're thinking about. All they can focus on is what the other guy would do next. After moving on and killing the grotesquerie slime, we get the final item of the game. The last moments of Clark Gale. I really did it though. I killed all of them myself. It's just me down here. Good. I don't need them. I can do this dungeon all by myself. Yeah. I don't need them. I didn't think he'd actually do that, but whatever. I'm sick of that guy anyway. Maybe he actually had thick skin, he wouldn't have killed himself. Idiot. Don't need him. Don't need anyone else. I can destroy this shard by myself. We see him go down to the shard, and on his way there, we see fake versions of his friends who died. He gets ambushed by slimes, and he ends his note by saying that at least Joseph and Anna are dead too. Going into the cathedral, Julius sees that magic wielder that he didn't kill before. Only he can see it though, similar to how only Ty can see the bodies. They enter a battle and eventually the man disappears and the two get surrounded by slimes. Julius says that they need to get to the shard. Ty asks how we're going to do that. Julius says that it's not we. He says that Ty will finally be good for something. Ty falls to the ground, clutching his shot leg. Julius runs off. Some slimes following him, but most going for the easy target. It was a quick heal, but Ty was already surrounded. Ty thinks about how much he regrets killing the three. They would be alive if it wasn't for him. He regrets not stabbing that miserable old man in the back. Just when he thought he was finished, the slimes say that they'll help him. The slimes are born of anger, the people's anger. They all want Julius dead and they'll help Ty do that. Some slimes team up with you and you kill the ones opposing you. You're tired, you're angry, yet it's that rage inside that keeps you going. You're surrounded by the embodiments of hatred, but you've come to understand that it's not necessarily a bad thing. The hatred of an assaulter is not the same as the anger of their victim. The anger of somebody frustrated at the world is not like the contempt of somebody that made their life hell. Besides your small outburst, you've mostly bottled it up, knowing what the dungeon is capable of and what kind of person Julius is, but now you can let loose. Now you finally feel alive. More slimes appear, you kill them. You can vividly imagine it. In your mind's eye you see yourself standing over Julius's body, his blood dripping from your knife. For a brief moment you feel a bit of regret, and then it's gone. He wouldn't have extended the same courtesy to you. You hate him. Not just him, but everything he represents. He is the church and everyone in it that wants to hurt you. That doesn't see you as human. More slimes appear, you kill them. We see Julius get ready to smash the shard until Ty stops him. Being so close to the shard makes Ty feel nauseous and his chest starts to feel like it's burning. A fight starts between him and Julius. Ty wins the fight and walks up to him. Do it. I would die a righteous death. The afterlife will welcome me, and you'll be condemned for the rest of your miserable time alive, Julius says. Well, that's fine by me. We see Ty later on living in a hidden part of the place he always wanted to live in. When Adam, Julius' old teacher, comes to take revenge, his sword gets deflected out his hand but not by Ty. While they were busy talking, they arrived. They evolved in the past year. The slimes had now grown to be something more individual and taken on their own identities. They attack while Ty heals them. We see Ray Terror, who only came with Adam in order to talk to Ty. They tie Adam up and they talk. They speak to each other and Ray comes to terms with a lack of guilt for Clark. Man, this game was amazing. Watching as the two characters start to progressively hate each other more and more over the game felt real and earned. In the end, when Ty killed Julius, you felt the hate that he had for Julius, and you felt the hate Julius had for Ty. The area slowly getting redder and redder paralleling that. The world was well built up, and I can't recommend this game more to you. Thanks for watching this, and if you made it this far, subscribe, and for now, this is goodbye.